If I'd gotten further in the game, I'm not sure that I would have worked much more with the Vati tribe. Definitely Mike was my #1 ride or die, so we would have gone as far as we could, but Chanel and Daniel were riding in the middle the whole time. So I knew all along that I could trust them for right now, but moving forward, I knew that there was going to be a time where I was going to have to cut them loose because I didn't trust them, and I didn't trust who else they would be scheming with, because I already saw that they were trying to work with Hai and Lydia. I felt a lot of different emotions throughout that entire tribal council. To start, I was pretty nervous because I didn't know whether Chanel had her vote or not. And when I realized she lost her vote, that nervousness turned into annoyance and frustration. And then when I realized that Daniel was sharing information with Hai, that led to even further annoyance. And when Daniel said he was not going to draw rocks and Hai dug his heels in and said, I'm doing this, and what do you say to that, Daniel? That just turned into acceptance. What could I do at that point? My game was sunk.
Question 1, is there anything I wish I had done differently? And the answer is yes, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is I wish that I'd just given Torrie slightly less information, because obviously when you tell someone they're on the bottom, they're gonna panic, and it just sort of slipped out of me. Like, I don't know what happened. The best moment I had in this experience was probably when we all went to go kill crabs, and I killed a crab. It was so great. So all 5 of us went out together, and yeah, being able to have that survivor experience of spearing that crab was just amazing.
Someone asked what my best experience was on the island. I'll answer this real quick by just saying riding the boat in at the very start in the premiere. I don't think the show showed this, but I was in tears. I was really, really emotionally feeling it because I felt like I am so happy to be alive right now. That's basically what I kept thinking to myself. I am so happy to be alive right now. I cannot believe I'm living out this dream. But I feel like the question more broadly is getting at, like, what was the best part of your survivor experience? And the answer to that is I really enjoyed the casting process. I think I enjoyed that, frankly, more than the game itself. And I also really enjoyed, like, getting to know people outside of the game. I'm, like, very much friends with Mike Turner and Zach Wurtenberger. I play Words with Friends with Zach's grandma. She's, like, a wizard with words. It's insane. Jenny and I are tight. I mean, the friends I've made coming out of this is wonderful, and I'm going to have experiences with them for decades. So that's probably the best part of my survival. Question: what was the toughest element out there besides the hunger? All right. First, I'll quibble a bit with the question because the hunger wasn't that bad for me. I took the Ben & Jerry's strategy. I ate lots of pints of ice cream before I got out there, and I had plenty of fat for my body to eat away at. So I didn't actually get very hungry, thankfully, in the 11 days that I played. I might have gotten hungry if I'd lasted a bit longer. Toughest element, probably sleeping in the rain. It's hard to find a comfortable spot. So that would be the toughest part. And I'd say, though, Fiji, not as tough as probably other places. Like Guatemala, Africa, they all had it harder than us. I don't know why, like, Survivor contestants feel as if they really need to, like, play up the fact that their season's so hard. Like, whatever. Fiji's easier than what it used to be. People should just lean into that. Someone asked me what takeaways I have from the game of Survivor. I have a lot. I have plenty of takeaways, but the one I'll offer for this video is it was a big decision to go. I had a lot of people tell me not to. Like, a lot of people said in the legal profession, bad for your career, not a good idea, like, bad to be on TV, you're not taking your job seriously, stay, work in your job, don't take 7 weeks off. And I ignored that advice. I instead listened to the advice of the people who said, like, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, go do it. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud that I did it. My boss was very supportive. He's a wonderful man. But my takeaway is I'm proud that when push came to shove of like being a careerist or living out a lifelong dream that we had for years that arose out of like a cancer experience, I chose to live my life by an ethos of like seizing the adventure. And I think that's the biggest takeaway I have, even if that adventure kind of went up in flames. Someone asked how my shoulder's doing. Thanks to that person. That's very kind of you to ask. The unfortunate news is my shoulder was fine until yesterday, actually, the day after my boot episode when I tripped going down the stairs and it popped out again. So I will probably have to get surgery, given that it's the third time it's popped out. And I find it a little bit funny that my survivor journey ended the way it began.
I enjoyed being on Survivor so much. It was like just so beautiful, and you really just like, you know, are just stripped away of everything, and you're just like, it was liberating just kind of actually being cut off from everything. Like you really only had this to focus on, and it was so much fun. And like also coming out of it, I have like people that I call family now, and I am so grateful for this like crazy experience. I learned so much. It just was fun. Like it was just fun. All the challenges were fun. Just like looking around and just like, oh, the sunrises were incredible. And it's like all those like accumulation of like little moments that just like, you want to go, it's just addicting. You want to go back. It was absolutely surreal. And I'm so grateful I got this experience. Yeah. My overall plan in the game was just to like make alliances, kind of sneak by in the beginning portion of it, which is obviously definitely harder when there's only 6 of you. But I was not trying to pull anything too big too fast. Like that is, it's a trap, you know? So I was just trying to be, you know, very social and just try to get a read on everything. And I feel like up until the end, I had a good read until it was obviously me. But you know, I think if it wasn't for the twist, I probably would have been able to sneak by a little bit longer. You know, and sometimes that's what you gotta do. It can't all be challenge beasts. I mean, it is what it is. You gotta miss the key a few times. It is what it is. At the end of the day, you know, you can say you could have done this, could have done that, but, you know, in the moment, you're just trying to do what you think is best, you know, and you're just trusting your gut. And obviously didn't work out for me, but, you know, what are you gonna do?
I have no real big regrets in this game. I felt as if that I played the game in a little bit more of an old school type fashion, especially in my social game. But I have no regrets. Of course, I wish that I had won $1 million, but apparently obviously I did not. But my regrets are not there. It was such a wonderful experience being one of 18 competitors to actually go and experience this, especially at the time that we did with COVID and so forth. So I have no big regrets at all. I'm just very proud of myself and proud of all my competitors that I played with, for all the stuff that we had to go through, getting there, participating. So I have no real big regrets. I say the biggest change in my life, based on this experience, has to do with the fact that, you know, being away from my family was tough, and it made me appreciate them more, coming home and being with them. I was away for such a long time, for the first time, and that was hard to deal with. But coming back home and seeing my family, that was just the embrace that I needed. I will always cherish that more and more in my life, and spending time with my family and making new experiences.
No, I actually feel like I had so much more that I wanted to accomplish. I really feel like I only used 10% of my potential on the island because there's only so much I can do when no one wants to work with me and when no one trusts me. So what I really had to rely on was winning challenges and creating just enough chaos to slip by to the next round. Hopefully at some point gaining my footing. But you know, I wanted to find an idol, but oh my goodness, there are literally so many spiders out there that you don't see on the TV. So like any crevice you want to go in or any path, like there's spider webs with like huge colorful spiders. So yeah. I could have looked a lot harder for an idol, would have loved to have found that. I really would have loved to have won 4 or 5 individual immunity challenges. So I got like, you know, 2/4, 2/5 of the way there. And I didn't win. So definitely didn't accomplish everything I went out there for, but I'm still so proud of the way I played. And so that doesn't take away from what I did get to do and accomplish. I was so proud and thankful that I won those first 2 individual immunity challenges. I've always been a believer that it is the best option to rely on your own immunity and to trust your own immunity to keep you alive and safe. And so the fact that I was able to extend my life in the game just a couple more days, it's crazy to watch back because I literally would have gone home had I not won those. And I had a goal coming into Survivor. I wanted to be the first woman to break a record and win 5 individual immunity challenges. And I honestly think I could have done it. Like, I really do, but you know, what ifs can keep you up all night. So that was something that I'll never forget. I'd always dreamed, literally, I would lay in bed at night and picture Jeff like putting the necklace around my neck. And I got to experience that twice. So that's something I'll never forget.
Did you feel at all that you were going to be eliminated, or was it a total shock? They got me. It was 100% a blindside. I could not sniff it out all afternoon. I was so comfortable that I had left my sneakers back at camp. Future survivors, do not leave your sneakers back at camp, because if you do, you will be blindsided that night. What was your favorite memory from your time on the island? I had a lot of favorite memories, and they all relate back to early Bati days before the game really got crazy. We would all sit around and watch the sunset and watch the sunrise together every night. And then we'd go to bed and tell each other our gratitudes for the day. And it was really sweet.
Was Survivor everything I expected? Survivor's more than I expected. I am shocked with what I took away from it. Definitely a changed woman. Nothing like starting you and to humble you real quick. And yeah, it's different. I'm physically, emotionally, mentally, differently playing this game called life because of Survivor. So thank you, Jeff. This is the big question. Why did I tell Omar? I know this season made me look like I had loose lips. I know. That's the big question. Look, this is a fast game. He and I had very personal one-on-one conversations. I knew that he was a strategic player playing, and I knew that there were only a couple of us, he and I left, and that hopefully he could work with me, and that this wasn't the time for us to take each other out. This was the time to get those others out. I wanted to play the game with people who were playing the game, and I felt like Omar was playing the game hard, and I wanted to battle him at the end. Did I think that he was gonna turn on me? Definitely did not, obviously. It's a fast game, fast games, like minutes to strategize, right? So I made that decision thinking that it was the right decision. Obviously, it was not the right decision. Would I change it? No, because I thought that it would benefit me. Again, going back to the table, going back to the books, how would I play Survivor again? I don't know. I don't want to sit back and do nothing. I want to make moves, so you'll have to wait and see.
Do I regret telling Mike about Drea's advantage in the game? I mean, it's so easy to say in hindsight, yes, because I didn't know that Mike had lost trust in me. But, you know, at the time, given the information I had, I felt like Mike and I's alliance from the Pizza Under the Stars reward was very tight with Lindsay, him, and I. So I thought he trusted me to go to the end of the game. So I thought by telling him, I would gain more trust with him, and he would really want to go to the end with me. But obviously, in hindsight, being 2020, you know, I just didn't know that he was on to me, and good for him. I decided to give Mike back the idol because I thought it would be put more of a magnifying glass on me if I kept it. Whereas if I gave it back to him and he still trusts me, then I look like a very loyal ally to him and he's more likely to want to take me further in the game. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that he didn't trust me anymore. And so that was my mistake, and good on him. Do I have any regrets about taking Drea out of the game last week? I mean, you know, to some extent, you always have to have some regrets if you're the next one out the door. So, you know, I do wonder if there was a better play, and perhaps letting her take the idol away from him was the better move. But at the time, again, you go based on the information that you have, and Mike and I were working very closely together at that time, and I didn't anticipate him realizing what I was doing in the game at that point.